I'm Shannon from Nursing Education. I'm here to show you how to apply violent restraints on a patient. This skill can be performed by any unlicensed caregiver. So we're going to start with the wrist restraint. A couple things to remember. First, I would like you to watch the nonviolent video first because you'll follow some of those same pointers. But for violent restraints, they will also come in a pack of 2. So for the wrist restraints, which are blue, you'll have 2 pack. The same rule applies that if you put it on one limb, you have to put it on the other limb. So you can't have it just on one right arm, for instance. It needs to be on both arms. And then your red restraints or your ankle restraints will come in a pack as well. Same rules apply. And then in each pack, you're going to get a key for the buckle, which we'll go over shortly. This key should be kept in the room at all times. You're going to likely be sitting for the patient as well. There will always be a sitter, which is usually an unlicensed personnel. So that can stay with that person in the room, or it can be hung on the side of the bed, but it can't be anywhere that a patient could grab it. So for instance, up here is okay, as long as everybody on the medical team knows where it's at and the family has been educated by a nurse that they are not allowed to touch the key. So now, another thing, very important thing to remember is that you would never apply these without multiple people in the room. So I'm showing you on a mannequin, but it unfortunately is not this calm when you do it on a real patient. So I'm going to first start with the wrist restraint and show you how to apply that. We're going to use the same brackets on the movable part of the bed as we did for the nonviolent. So there's either one up here or there's one down here. I'm going to use the one up here because we're going to do the wrist restraint first. So the actual restraint is all one piece. It's got a really long strap here, a shorter strap with a buckle, and another buckle on the actual wrist piece, and then a short strap with a very heavy buckle. It's really important that you do not apply this restraint to the hand first. We always want to move from the bed up because if the patient had this on their hand without being secured on the bed, they can hit you with it and it becomes a weapon. Okay, so we're going to start with the strap here. You're going to want to loop through the bracket. You can double loop if you would like, but at least one loop. We're going to bring it close to the bed, close to the patient, but we're not going to give it to them, obviously. We're going to bring that long piece through the buckle here, just like that, and then you want to make sure it clicks shut. So now it's locked before we put it on the patient. Then, now that I'm sure it's locked on a secure piece of the bed, I'm going to open it up and we're going to start with the soft blue side. And then that's going to go underneath the patient's wrist. Then we're going to move through these 3 pieces on the top of the restraint. The first one is always the soft colored side that's going to go down on the actual skin. Then you're going to go color to color. So black Velcro to black Velcro, then blue Velcro to blue Velcro. You want to make sure that one finger can go underneath the skin and the restraint once it's in there. Then the only piece left is this little buckle here that looks the same as the nonviolent restraints. You want to do the same thing with twisting it once, and then you're going to bring it around to the other side of the buckle here and just snap. You want to make sure that one finger can go in between there as well. Now, if you needed to adjust the length of this restraint, then you would need to have another person here holding down the limb, get the key, unlock it, and quickly adjust the length at that point, but never do it alone. So now I'm going to move down to my ankle to show you how to do that piece. The actual restraint looks very similar, except there's a bigger piece here, and there's a D-ring instead of a buckle. So we're just going to go over it once so that you can see how to apply it. So now I'm going to go ahead and use this bracket down here. It's really important for this that you slide it through the same. I'm going to do it once, if not twice. But you never want to have this go around the arm rail for that reason, because it can pull on the patient's limb. You want to make sure that it's out from the arm rail and going up. So I have it looped around once here, and I'm going to bring it into the buckle just the same as the wrist one. Kind of quickly estimate the length, and then when I'm good, I'm going to snap it closed so it's locked. Now we can work on putting it around the ankle. Same thing with the application. You want to start with the soft side and put that underneath the ankle there. We're going to go soft side to the skin again, red, and then black to black, and then red to red again. You want to make sure one finger can fit under there, and then you're left with this long piece and the D-ring. So you want to make sure that it comes around and it goes around the top of the strap that you just placed down. You want to keep it flat. If you did turn it, that's okay. But the ultimate goal is that you want it to go through the D-ring. So you go through both straps, or both buckles first, like this. You go underneath the top first one, and under the second one. So that's what it kind of looks like, you can see. And then you just tighten it through, and then you want to be able to fit one finger underneath there as well. Now, if you had an emergency with restraint, you would obviously put these on the other side too, and there'd be a lot more people in the room than just me. Just want to remind you again. If you had an emergency with these restraints, there is no emergency release. You would have to take them off from the patient's limb first. So you would undo everything here or on their wrist. And the reason for that, again, is because if you undo it from the bed with the key, then they might be able to come back from the emergency and hit you with this. So you want to make sure that you're keeping yourself and the patient safe. All right, thank you.